Hi viewers, and welcome to the channel and welcome to the FreeCAD mini series for the Curves Workbench. We're on episode 9 and we're going to be looking at pipe shells. Now the object in front of you is created from nothing but pipe shells. Now a pipe shell is an object that's been created out of a profile and a path. Very similar to loft, but it's a lot more powerful than the standard loft features. For instance, this is the usual thing that you would create from a pipe shell. It's a solid pipe that's been created from two profiles and swept along a helix. On the outside of this, you'll see another pipe shell, this one here. And this is a profile that's been swept along the side of that pipe. So if we look at this here, you can see this line that travels all the way around here. That's been used as a path to sweep this across. We've only gone halfway up. That's just there for a demonstration. This part here is a extrusion that's been swept along a cylinder. So it's been swept along the seam of the cylinder. I've got the cylinder here. I'll bring that back, hide the extrusion. We look around the side here. There's a line here that runs all the way up and across here. And this extrusion is again a pipe shell that's been created from that. Come in here. You can see I've got the pipe shell here, just show you that, behind that. And there's the pipe shell that runs across that seam and up through the seam of that bolt, creating two faces there on this side. We've just extruded that out. The bowl at the top, again, is a pipe shell. We have a look at that. Now this is an offset. Apply the offset, come into this, I have a pipe shell in here, and you can see there's a profile in here that's being used, that's attached to this edge, and this edge has been used as a path to create that profile. And then we add some thickness to it with the offset. So pipe shells are not just for pipes, they can be used for many things. They're very powerful. And we can use a number of profiles in there and a number of shapes to shape those profiles and blend those shapes together. It's a two-part tutorial. The first part will be showing you how to use the pipe shell, and the second part will be showing you some demonstrations. I know the first part has a number of demonstrations in there. The second part will go into those demonstrations a bit more deeply, and it will show you how to make things such as this bowl, this pipe, and the flange that runs around here. So I hope you're enjoying this mini series, and let's take a look at this tool. If you like this video, please hit a like and also subscribe to the channel. I also have a Ko-Fi site where you can actually donate to my contributions to the community, and that's at ko-fi.com/MANG0. So we're going to first learn how this tool works. This tool is available from the Curves Workbench. And you haven't got this installed, then you go and install it via the Tools Add-on Manager, and you can install it in here. So it's a Curves Workbench. Just come down and you'll see it in there. So you can see I've already got it installed, and we just install and off we go. So the tool we're looking at is actually split across two tools. So the first one is the Create a Profile object for pipe shell, and the other one is Create a Pipe Shell Sweep object. There's a certain sequence to use the tools. You first create profiles and then you create sweeps, but you have to select them from different parts of the screen. So we first create sketches or curves or a profile in the sketcher, or using the curves tool in the Curves Workbench, or any way you want to get a spline, a wire, or even from an object in there. So you create the profile from there, you select it from the screen, you don't select it in the combo view. Let me show you. So I'm going to go over to the sketch, and we're going to first create a simple pipe. So go into sketch, XY plane, OK, and I'm going to create a circle in here. This one, what we're going to start with, just something that's very simple. Now we don't have to create a circle, we can create a line as well, or we could create a shape, and we'll get to that in a minute. So we've got a circle here, and this can become a profile. We also need a path. So I'm going to create a sketch again. And I'm going to do it on the front. Press sketch on there. And we're looking at the ZX plane. I'm using my handler down the bottom. ZX plane, which is this one here. XZ plane, ZX plane, same thing. Okay, that. And we're going to place some kind of path in here. Now, if you've used sweep tools before and loft tools, you'll see if this is familiar. But there is a difference. This one is a lot more powerful. I'm going to hit escape, so I've got a B-spline in there, and close that. So we've got a circle and a path for B-spline. And we're going to just bring that onto screen to see what we've got. There we go. What we're going to do now is come over to the Curves Workbench, and we need to make a profile. So this is where you have to be careful of the selections. If we select this circle from here, this is the correct place to select it from the actual window itself, not from over here, because it won't work. And the reason why is because we could have multiple sketches in here. Say that's put another profile in here, close that. So if I clicked this sketch, we're actually selecting two, and that's not the way to do it. So if you're selecting this sketch from here, it's not going to work. You'll get an error. We have to select it from the screen, and you can see the sketch is selected there, but we don't take any notice of this. We select it from the screen, and then we click on the create a profile object for pipe shell. Also available from surface, pipe shell profile. That goes blue, and that's created that profile over here. This is parametric. So if I go into my sketch 1, you can see that's the path that we want to follow. And our normal sketch, which is grayed out, see there, double click that. Let's change this. Close. You can see the profile there. Let's try that again. Close, and you can see our profile is changing. So we can make amendments to that profile there. Come back in and just shrink it down slightly. We can use one profile or many profiles along here. For the time being, I'm going to use one. Now I'm going to show you how to sweep this through this object. Click on profile. So you're clicking from the combo view this time. Don't click from here. Click from the combo view. Hold down Control and select your path. Now if this was multiple lines in here, you can select multiple lines, not a problem at all. Then what you need to do is click the create a pipe shell sweep object across there. And that'll sweep that object across there. And you can see that if we hover over this, there's a number of objects that have been created through the pipe, a number of profiles that follow that path there. Come down to the pipe shell. Let's reduce the amount of samples that are in there. So at the moment we've got 100 samples. If we bring this down to 50, we can see what's going on. So you can see the amount of samples, the amount of profiles have been reduced. And let's bring this down to 20. Now we can have a good look and see what's actually happened here. So you can see the profiles are following that path, but they're not following that path correctly at the moment. So we can play with these results. And we'll just pull this out. So in the pipe shell, if we look at the data tab and look along here and move up to the top, you can see the mode is discrete trihedron there. Let's go to fixed. You can see we've got a different look entirely there. So all the profiles now are straighter. But it's not the effect we want. We want it to properly follow this path. Come down to my normal. May have made some slight changes in there, but it's not the effect we want. And FreeNet. We had discrete trihedron before. So that looks like the best we're going to get that for this time being. And it's probably because our profile is too big for that bend in that line there. So we can come back into this profile, this sketch here. Let's double click that. And let's just reduce the size of our profile. Close that. If we want to, we can fix this by adding another profile. Let's come back into our sketch and have a look. So I'm going to use the same circle there, just place it around about here. So I'm going to delete this profile that I placed in here. I'm going to close that, and I'm going to click on this sketch. Let's just hide this profile. So I'm pressing space to hide that, and space to hide the pipe shell. Bring the sketch back. I'm going to copy that sketch, so I got to edit, duplicate selection, and that's copied that sketch. Now we'll come down to the placement and the position, and we want to place it along the Z axis. So go down to our Z axis, and we use the up arrow and just bring this up, and we're going to place this around about here with some angle. So we're telling the profile where to route its way through. So along the Z axis we've done, along the X axis we need to place that along there, and we're going to give it some rotation as well. So our angle, we can rotate that, but we need to rotate along the correct axis. So at the moment we're looking down at the axes, and it's going to be rotating around the Z axis. So that will mean it will just spin because the Z axis is pointing straight through that object. So we've got to change that. And if we have a look, it should be the Y axis. So we place a 1 in the Y axis, 0 out the Z. Let's increase the angle. See, that's increasing. Let's go the other way. And we can adjust that angle. So I'm going to go for something like, so now that's done. Let's click on our pipe shell and just delete that. Bring back the profile, pressing spacebar to show that. And here's our sketch. So we need to make that a profile now. So I'm going to click on that sketch and then create a profile object. Now we've got 2 profile objects in there. Click on that sketch, hide it, press space. So there we go, so we've got the profiles there so we can select them. Don't want the sketches sitting on top because we end up selecting the sketches, therefore it will fail. So we're going to click the profile from this combo view. Click the profile 0, 1. So clicking them in order. Click the spline or the path. So I hold down Control and clicked all these, and then click on the pipe shell. And we come in, you can see that's a much cleaner pipe through there. Let's click on the pipe shell, let's decrease those samples to around about 50, 20. You can see how much cleaner that is going through there. The more samples, the cleaner it will be. So that is a pipe through there. I can place some more profiles along here to make this a lot more cleaner if I so desire. But that's just 2 profiles to create that pipe. If I wanted to create it as a solid, then we come back down to the output sections. We can place the surface across there, like so. And you can see that's a surface. At the moment it's a shell because it hasn't got any depth in there. We can create that as a solid. If we go down to where it's got solid, just change that to true. And there, that's a solid now. So you can do Boolean operations against this, cut, intersection, etc. from the part workbench. We're not limited to circles or shapes like this. We can have lines. So let's get rid of our pipe shell. We're going to keep the path and can get rid of the profiles. Get rid of the sketch. let's just bring back the original profile. Got rid of the wrong sketch there. There we go. Here's the original profile. That's the path. And let's get rid of that sketch. So this sketch here, I'm just going to change this. So at the moment we've got a circle. I'm going to delete that. And I'm going to use another B-spline. So we're going to place a B-spline in here and create something like that. Something quite simple. So you can see there's the bottom, and our B-spline moves up through that path. Let's close that. That's what we've got at the moment. So this is our profile. So I'm going to click on that, profile, and then I'm going to select the profile, Control, select the path, and then do apply sweep. So you can see what's happened there. That swept that line, that B-spline, along that path. So we almost got like a fin shape going across there. Again, can come into the pipe shell, change the samples, and we can make it solid. And we can also output as surface. There we go. Now we've got that surface there. We can do what we want with that surface. So for instance, we can come into the part and click the surface and add a 3D offset against there. So you can see that's offset nicely there. And just bring that out a bit and fill the offset. Okay, so we've got that shape there that we can work with. Again, we can change the profile. So I'm going to come in, just show that sketch. So that's the profile of that sketch. Come into the offset and just press spacebar on the pipe shell. And let's see if we can just add this in there. So we're going to take this and just add a different shape over here. Let's double click this sketch where it is at the moment. Let's have a look, see what's going on. Okay, so I'm going to create this as another sketch. And I'm going to place it at this end, this corner here. Jump over to the sketcher. That vertex is selected here, new sketch. Do and translate, that's fine. And it's going to be on that end. And we're going to place one somewhere along here. So we get a twist as well. And let's make a shape. A bit different this time. There we go. Close that. Now click on your shape. And then go to the cursor workbench. We've clicked on our shape here. From the screen, raise the profile. So we've got another profile there. Now we may be able to get away with where the pipe shell is. Click on the pipe shell. This may not work. Must admit this is the first time I've tried it. Let's come down to see our profiles. We've got profiles there. Let's click on that. So we can see the profiles that we're using. Profile there. And we've got another profile here. Let's control click that. We've got two there. Let's hit OK and let's see what happens. We've got profile 001. It's been added. Nothing's happened as of yet. Now do we need a refresh? There we go. Refresh that and you can see that profile has deformed that across there. Got some problems over here, so we would need another profile in here to sort that out. So let's hide the pipe shell. Let's have a look, we'll see what's going on. So if we needed another profile, we'll put one about here. This allows us to do that. So let's move this profile. I'm going to take that and I'm going to rotate it. And you can see that's kind of detached from there. Let's go for it anyway. So let's bring it over. And translate that back if you so desire. bring back the pipe shell, and you can see we can move those profiles as well. So we've moved it away from this path. Obviously we've got some problems with twisting that we need to untwist this, but you can see how we can easily change these profiles in there, add and remove profiles, and change the position to allow us to get our desired effect. As well as lines, we can actually do different shapes. So we've got done circles, we can do a different shape in there, and we can add those to a closed path. So this is an open path at the moment. This one here, see it's open. And I'm going to come in and just delete all of these now, get rid of them all and start from fresh. So jump into the sketcher and we'll create a closed path. So new sketch, XY plane, okay. And I'm going to create a circle. Let's create a hexagon in there. So that's in there. It's a regular polygon. It's been created in there. Let's close that. So that's our path that we're going to be using. Now let's move that into position and click one of these corners. I'm going to click on the sketch actually and come down, look at the view, and I'm going to increase the point size so we can know where those points are. It's a bit smaller at the moment so we can see them. There we go. Those point size are increased now. Selected one of them and create a sketch, and let's go for translate, that's fine. Just want it on that edge. And we're going to create a profile on here, and I'm going to flip it round so it's in the right position. So we could use the B-spline, or we could use one of these slots or something. Let's go for a slot. No, in fact, let's go for a B-spline. We'll create multiple lines for the B-spline. So I'm going to create something like, just being wary of how big this shape is. Like that, hit escape. And the reason why I've hit escape is I want to come in, got all these here. Let's change this a bit. And I'm going to create another B-spline that connects these up. There we go. Let's bring this into about there. I'm going to create another B-spline that connects this up. So clicking on the B-spline, or let's go for an arc. Clicking on the arc. I'm going to select this point in here. Got the auto constraints on, so let's come in. Constraint come up. And zoom out and just hover over that one, zoom in. It's constrained there. And just do a little arc like that. So we've got two edges in there. Close that. So that's connected there. So we've got this shape now. I want to rotate this over. So I'm looking at here and I want to rotate it along the y-axis. So the y-axis goes this way, and that's why I want to rotate it over. So it's going to rotate this way. So come into this sketch, which is this one here, and click it. That'll bring that sketch up. Come down, and we've got that axis here. Come down, at the moment we've got it along Z, so if I put 90 degrees on here, that'll rotate it along the Z. So you can see the Z is pointing up at the moment, so let's rotate it around the Z. We want it rotated around the Y, so put 1 in Y, and 0 out the Z. That's good. So that's there. If it's upside down, we can either use -90 or -1. That'll flip it around the other way. So that's there. Let's click the sketch, have a look, make sure everything's okay in there. See, map mode is still translate, that's fine. Even if that becomes detached, that's absolutely fine. So we're all good to go. So click your profile. Now we need to click the other side as well because it's made up of two edges. So control click the other side. And we'll first need to be in the curves workbench. So let's go over to there. So click one side, control click the other. Make the profile. Profile's there. And then we can start selecting the path that's going to actually go along. Let's bring this around. Select the profile, which you need to select from over here, and then control click each of these lines. We can stop halfway if we want, if we only want it going around halfway, say round to there, and then we create the pipe shell. You can see that goes around to there, but I want it to go all the way around. So click the profile, click all of these. And click the pipe shell. Got some amendments to do in here. You can see it's not aligned properly, so we're going to need some more profiles in here. So let's click on our sketch, press the spacebar, hide the pipe shell, and let's copy that. Edit duplicate section, and we only want that sketch 1. So get rid of the other sketch because that's what it is attached to. Okay, that. Click on that sketch, and the support is fine. The map mode, translate, and we're going to map it to somewhere else. We're going to map it to this point here. So it's the same vertex 4. It's moved it to there. Okay, that. And we need to place some rotation, and then we need to place some rotation along the z-axis there. So we're going to get into rotating these now. We've got this sketch here. Now my advice is to make your life easier. If you come into the sketch, you have this placement here and the axis here. Personally, I wouldn't fiddle with these because this can quite easily be done by hand with another workbench. If you start getting into trying to change these, then if you don't understand how these work, then this can be a bit of a rabbit hole that you don't want to go down. To make life easier, jump over to the draft workbench. Now we're inside the draft workbench, we can come in and we can look at this profile here, and I want to rotate that. So make sure that the bottom or the top is selected. Now we select the thing that we want to rotate, which is the sketch. This sketch here, which has already been selected. Don't select it from the screen, just select it from here. Come up to your tools and we can click on the rotate tool. Also available from modifications and rotate. Make sure your sketch is selected first. So this sketch has to be selected first. So we click on the rotate tool. And now we have the rotate tool. Now this is where this comes in handy. This is the snap lock, which is on at the moment. So if we open that up, we can see our snapping. Now we want to select the right items from there. These may all be selected, so bring these all down, unselect them all. Click on one, you see it's highlighted like so. Just unselect them. And make sure that the snap endpoint is on. That means this will snap. You can see where it's snapped to, that endpoint there, or it's snapped to that endpoint there. So we can click on that endpoint once. That's our pivot. And then we go to the end and click on that endpoint. See it's snapped there. We've got a little icon come up. That means we can move this like so, and we can move this to wherever we want, or type in 45 and that will move it to there. So press enter, or we can click the mouse or move this by hand and click. So there you go. So that's moved that. You can see if I click off of it, we've moved our profile now to there. So when we go and do the pipe shell, well, first we've got to make that sketch there into a profile. Let's take this gridding off because I don't need that gridding. Go to the cursor workbench, click the bottom, control click the top, create the profile, and then click on the pipe shell. It's hidden at the moment, press space, and we're going to add that to our profiles. Come down, it's got profiles, click on the end, and we're going to control click that profile there, and OK. Edit refresh, and we can see we've routed our profiles around that edge there. We've still got these over here, so we need to do the same for those as well. If we've got a shape like this, if it was a circular shape, then we'll get away with it. I'm going to come into the pipe shell and look at the splines, and we can get rid of some of these splines. So we've got edge 3, edge 4, edge 5, edge 6 there. Let's just come in, and these are in order. So edge 3, edge 4, edge 5. Let's have a look what edges we got. So this one here is, so that's the pipe shell. Edge 2, 201. So let's hide this pipe shell. Let's have a look. So that's edge 4, edge 3, edge 4. So you can see we're going edge 3, edge 4. So I'm going to take out from here, double click on it, and take out edge 6 all the way up to edge 2. Delete. OK. Bring back the pipe shell, edit, refresh. We can see that causes an error, so we can't actually change that pipe shell in there. So if you ever go in there and want to change the splines, then you're not going to get anywhere with that. You can see it's blanked out. But what you can do is come in and move this over to the side. It's a good idea to click on your pipe shell and hide it, and then click the splines you want. So if I click it, you can see the sketch has changed. There. It's got edge 3 in there. There's that sketch there. And select that one. Hold down Control, select the other. Edge 4, edge 5. OK. Let's bring this pipe shell back. It's still in error at the moment. Edit, refresh, and you can see that's changed and allowed us to do the pipe shell through there. So just be wary of those certain things that will cause errors in there. The best way is to come in to here, click that sketch there, don't click that sketch, and we can clear that if we so desire. Bring this over to the side and then pick the edges that we want. So I want those 2 edges. The profiles are over here. Hit OK, edit, refresh. We can see that's changed. And let's do it where the profiles are, because that's causing a few issues there. Click clear, move this to the side, click the pipe shell, hide it. You can see what we're doing, and I just want this edge, Control select this edge, edge 3 and 4, OK. Bring back the pipe shell, press the spacebar, edit, refresh, and you can see that's routed the way through. You can see it's splayed out at the end, and that's because if we look at this profile, see where it's going there, and the angle that it's at, if we place a line along there, it will move outwards to here. So we need another profile in here just to bring this back if we so desired. This one is straight. You can see how these connect. So the edge of the profile there is connecting to the edge of the profile here. You can see there's a line that goes along here. This one, we took the edge up from that and out, then we're going off into the distance. So just be wary of that when you haven't got an ending profile and they splay out like so. Just put another profile in there and it brings it back. Don't have to have the same profiles. We can have different profiles along here. So if we want to shrink this down a bit or even change the shape of this profile entirely, we can place that in here as well. So in our second part of this video, video 2, we'll look at this pipe shell, how we're going to be using what we've just learnt into making objects such as these. So that video is on my channel now. So I hope you're enjoying this series, and I hope to see you in the next video. If you like what you're seeing, please subscribe to my site, and also I have a Ko-Fi site where you can actually donate a few pence or a few pounds, dollars, or whatever your currency is, and that's at ko-fi.com/mang0, and there you'll be able to help me fund my site, and all the money that I actually get from any funds will actually get pushed back into the channel. Thanks a lot for watching and subscribing. I'll see you next time.